What's going on, guys? So today I am out here at Ron Hoover RV and Marine in Corpus Christi, Texas, and as I was walking the lot looking for different floor plans and things to talk about, I was like thinking in my head, you know, there's a lot of folks out there who set a budget, a really low budget, and they want to know what they're going to get for that budget. And in front of you, you're looking at an example of what you can get for 20 grand. Now, when I say 20 grand, I'm talking about a sale price of 20 grand. This actually has an MSRP of 25,386 bucks, but they're taking a little over 5 grand off and they're dropping it to right below $20,000. And I wanted to show you what you might expect to get for 20 grand when you go to an RV dealership. Hang tight, I'll be right back. All right, so right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and address the comment section because I know what the comments are going to be. Just go out, buy a cargo trailer for 8 grand because they're not 5 grand like they used to be for this size. So you're going to spend probably about 8 grand for a cargo trailer and turn it into an RV. Now that sounds practical, but unless you know how to do, cabinetry, unless you know how to do plumbing and wiring and do it in a way that actually meets electrical codes, and I know a lot of people are going to probably really criticize that comment, but unless you know how to do all of that yourself, you're probably not going to stay under 20 grand total when everything is said and done by the time you hire someone who can build cabinets, install tanks, elevate the floor, put the different things in place that you need to have in place, run all your wiring, run all your plumbing, run all of your gas lines, and make it suitable for towing as an RV with like an air conditioning unit on top and all of that stuff, power converters and an inverter inside. It can absolutely be done. People do it all the time, but most of the time the people that do it are very knowledgeable craftsmen who know how to do things like that, and that's where they save the money, is they take the labor on themselves. But to just go out and buy a utility trailer or cargo trailer and convert it into an RV, you might actually end up spending more money and not getting the end result you're looking for. So that's the whole reason why I'm addressing that. For those of you who are really, really great craftsmen and you can do it, well, then that's great. But a lot of people can't, and because they can't, they have to pay other labor for that, and it might actually end up costing them a lot more than they thought. That said, let's take a closer look at the numbers first. So this relatively small travel trailer is going to have a gross vehicle weight rating of 3,750 pounds. It's going to have a cargo capacity of 655 pounds, and it's going to have a single axle with 14-inch D-rated tires, D load range tires. So, real quick, the axle capacity of this actually nearly matches the gross vehicle weight rating. It's 50 pounds short, and you're probably going to have roughly 400 to 500 pounds resting on the back of your vehicle by the time you load up propane, batteries, and everything else for a camping trip, which means it's actually rare to see an RV that has an axle capacity that almost matches the gross vehicle weight rating. So that is really nice. But when we look at this from a towability perspective, this is going to be towable behind a lot of vehicles because a lot of vehicles have well over 3,750 pounds worth of towing capacity. Dodge Durangos, Jeeps, Chevy Traverse, a lot of these vehicles are in the 5, 6, and even 7,000 pound range. But that doesn't mean it's smart. Keep in mind, the shorter the tow vehicle, the more the trailer is going to impact it from a stability and sway perspective. And this is a relatively long, compact travel trailer. So just keep in mind, just because you may have the tow capacity doesn't mean you're going to have the payload capacity, the amount of weight pressing down on the back, or you're going to have the stability that you're looking for. And the last thing you want to do is jump into an RV just because it looks like it's towable to find out that it's not towable. But again, let's walk around and continue this tour of a $20,000 RV. Baggage doors, super, super thin, not very dense. You have a single little locking mechanism there, and then you have your key right there. This is actually, wow, this is a huge pass-through storage. Move that box out of the way. Actually, it's not a pass-through storage. It's just a huge storage on this one side. 30 amp cable right here. Magnetic hold up here. You have a power awning, which is really nice. But, I mean, most RVs are going to have that. You have a metal fold-up step that kind of tucks underneath. This is going to have Rainier tires. Aren't terrible tires. Not the best, but they're not terrible. There's a little boxed section beneath the frame. And this is going to ride on a... Wow, this has actually a boxed frame, I think. So that's a fully boxed frame. That's crazy. In most cases, you're not going to see that. It's going to be an I-beam or it's going to be a BAL frame. But to have a boxed frame, that was actually unexpected. LED lighting back here. It has the Lippert on-the-go ladder connection up there as well. Not prepped for a backup camera, but fear not, you could easily just drill a hole underneath that center light and just drop the wires down and connect to it if you wanted to have a backup camera, because that's how all of these other ones are done. You have a couple little triangle pieces under here to help prevent you from dragging your stabilizers on the ground if you're going up a steep approach angle. But let's hop inside of this no slide out Jayco J-Flight 170 BH. All right, first of all, I like the fact that they actually put a strut there to hold the door open. That's kind of different. And as we step inside, you have a queen size bed, pretty nice. You have one cabinet right here with a hanging rod inside. You have kind of a decorative wallboard right here as well. The mattress is definitely a cheap mattress, and this is one that you probably want to upgrade pretty quick. You could always put a topper or something on it, but just go out, spend a few $100, get you an RV mattress by Brooklyn Bedding. All right, we have a booth style dinette. You might have some storage under the seats, which you do. So you got some storage under there. This drops down so you can have more sleeping area if you want as well. Next to it you have your countertop up here, and believe it or not, this is crazy. So you guys know I hate thermofoil. This actually isn't thermofoil. This is a much thicker rubber edge surround with a thicker plastic style top to it. This is what they should be using in more expensive RVs that use thermofoil. This is kind of crazy because this is what you traditionally saw in like the 80s and early 90s as the countertop material in almost all RVs, except for super high-end ones which were using stone. But the fact that they're actually using a more legitimate type of solid surface material with a true edge to it versus the stuff that just wraps around is kind of shocking. I was not expecting to see something like this in here. I was expecting to see a plastic sink, and there is a plastic sink. No upgraded sprayer here. I think one thing they could have done here that would definitely made this unit stand out was to put a huge window right here. Just an enormous window right here instead of this tiny little one, and maybe another huge window right here. It might have raised the price slightly, but I think that would have been really, really nice to have that really great view out this side of the RV other than this little porthole. 2-burner cooktop. They actually still give you ball bearing roller slides here. A lot of RVs in this price range don't. They give you the cheaper slides, or they actually have wood on wood. It's like super cheap. Wasn't expecting that. Cabinetry is definitely a cheaper, lower end cabinetry, but it's not terrible. You have this Envision compact microwave. We have a 12-volt refrigerator here as well. And then you have your furnace down there in the bottom. Stepping into the bathroom, I am not expecting something, and they didn't disappoint me because I wasn't expecting it. Typically, when you get into these super, super affordable, low-cost travel trailers, for some reason, they decide not to put a shower surround. That is a big miss. Now, I understand that this specific wallboard that they use in here is impervious to water. I get it. But I still feel as if they should put a plastic shower surround in here just because it's going to give you more peace of mind, but it's going to be easier to clean as well because this has a bit of a texture to it. So yeah, I would definitely want them to add a shower surround in here. Plastic foot flush toilet, again, not unexpected. You have an on-demand water heater. That is kind of unexpected. I know that they're becoming more and more popular, but to see one in a $20,000 super low-cost trailer is not something that I expected. Right here you have 2 bunks along with a handle to get you up there. Some USB power right there, little switch power up there for the light. You have some storage underneath this bunk, your emergency exit. But this is pretty cool. Then above you have a Dometic air conditioning unit. What do you guys think? I mean, we got some storage up there, and I don't think we're gonna have blackout shades in here, but let's see, probably pleated. Yep, just pleated shades. But for 20 grand, this is what you get. You know, and I hate to say it, but this is about what you get in any brand for this price. But what do you think? Do you think that it's worth it? Do you think that the value's there? Would you spend 20 grand on something like this? Or are you the DIY person who would go out and spend 8 to 10 grand on a cargo trailer and then another 5 to 7 grand converting it into something similar to this? At the end of the day, again, most people can't do that. They don't have the means to do that, or they don't have the skills or knowledge to do that, and this might be what they can afford. So if you're looking at an RV for 20 grand, this is probably what you're gonna get, unless you buy used. You buy used, you can probably get a lot more, as long as you're willing to understand the risks of buying used and some of the rewards and benefits of buying used. Anyways, I'd love to know your opinion. Drop a comment below. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.